welcome to Business Today. I am Siddharth Zarabi, and with me now, Jay Chaudhry, the CEO of Zscaler, a company that many people in the IT space know very well, a $30 billion market cap. Mr. Chaudhry, welcome to Business Today. You've been talking to us almost every year for the past 2-3 years, and we've dissected and understood various technology trends that have happened. As we begin this conversation, I just want to begin by a larger macro question, which is to do with the technology sector and what is likely to happen in 2025. There have been significant political changes in the United States, and a different sort of approach towards trade is now rolling out. How's the outlook for 2025?
So overall, US is very bullish. The forecast on overall economy is good. Technology is powering every business these days. Whether it's AI, ML, it's cloud, it's mobility, it's the most important area. So outlook for technology companies is very good. Business growth in the US is quite good, and growth prospect in India are pretty good too. Some of the other parts of the world are a bit lukewarm.
Okay. Since you spoke about US growth, one's been noticing a renewed sense of optimism, particularly after the 20th of January in US CEOs, that there will be growth. The Trump macroeconomic policy framework is going to be positive for US growth. Is that an assessment that you share?
The large businesses are bullish because they feel that the regulatory burden will be removed. And overall, this Trump presidency is good for businesses, overall good businesses.
Absolutely. The Republican approach towards taxes, a lesser or lower spending in government, and climate, all of those are pretty well known.
Right.
Let me ask you to speak about technology trends, and also from a perspective of what's happening in India over the recent year, as greater and faster digital adoption becomes the norm, as more and more people come on to various digital interfaces in India. Fraud, cyber fraud has now become almost like an epidemic. How bad is the problem, and why is it so?
It's pretty simple. Wherever the action is, wherever business happens, bad guys want a piece of action without working hard. Think of it, over the past thousands of years, have thieves gone away ever? They haven't. Now it's a digital theft that's happening. Everything is moving online. Bad guys are moving online. We talk about fraud at the consumer level. That's an issue. But the ransomware attacks at the business levels are big, big issues too. In a few months ago, we had this ransomware attack on the United Health Group. It's like a Fortune 5 company. And they ended up paying some ransom amount. And even after that, the losses incurred the business are estimated to be in $3 billion range.
$3 billion of losses.
I mean, people couldn't get their prescriptions filled. I mean, it was that bad. Things are happening. There's a other thing you probably read about. United States telcos are infested with some of these Chinese malware infested with them. So you're going to see attacks, issues in 3 areas. Ransomware or fraud for businesses or consumers. Number 2, countries trying to steal intellectual property, such as jet engine technology or rocket technology, or say vaccination technology. And the third is national defense, where countries want to get into each other's espionage. That's where Chinese hackers are in the middle of US telcos. So these things will keep on happening. But cyber needs to step up, and businesses are stepping up. I was in India in December, had a chance to sit down with our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and it was great to see his view. He said, we have been focused on digitizing India. It's happening very well. Now we need to make cyber as a #1 priority, because the more digitization happens, the bigger the risk.
I want to ask you, has the as one of the leading experts in this space, and your company is pretty much a cutting-edge company in this space, did the world wake up too late to the threat posed by depending on one country, and particularly China's telecom products, and allowing them to proliferate across networks just for lower cost?
Not quite. I would say yes, lower cost drove many countries to adopt that. But that part is only one piece of risk. The risk comes from many sides of it. US doesn't have a lot of Huawei technology deployed. Still, the bad actors are able to get in. A lot more proactive defenses need to be done. Here is the problem. The bigger businesses and government organizations have a lot of inertia. They take time to move. We're still using 30-year-old technology for cybersecurity. What is that? It's firewalls and VPNs to build a moat, so my castle is good.
Yeah.
Once someone gets in the castle,
you have no defense.
No defense. That's where Zscaler came in. We pioneered zero trust architecture, where everyone is trusted. We don't let you get inside the castle and roam around. If you need to go, we escort you to meeting room A. Your meeting happens, we escort you back out. It's a one-to-one access. That technology is being picked up around the globe. That's what's driving Zscaler's growth as well. India has adopted this technology quite well as well. Probably majority of the large Indian companies are working with Zscaler, embracing this technology at almost the same pace that American companies are.
Okay.
I have not seen that in the past. India used to lag behind, but India is doing great. I feel so proud of the way innovations are happening. Some of these Indian companies that are competing at the world stage, our global system integrators, are doing a great job as well.
In fact, that was going to be my next question in terms of how ready and prepared is India for both state actors, non-state actors, and thieves, as you put them to. But you seem to suggest that as far as India is concerned, companies, they have woken up to the challenge?
Large private companies are doing quite well. Small companies don't have enough understanding and awareness.
A lot of data, Mr. Chaudhry, resides in government setups in India because of the nature of our government, the nature of both at the state and the central level. Many of our large national databases are only government owned. Are they cognizant of the risk in your reading?
So we are having lots of conversations with Indian government at the central level and the state level. There's some active projects going on, but government needs to move faster. My discussion with Mr. Modi was that we are making progress on cyber, but it needs to accelerate. And state and central government need to move faster, but the bureaucracy and some of those things slow it down.
Is it just inertia, or is there also a cost issue?
Cost is actually less of an issue.
Okay.
I tell you why. There's so many old legacy technologies deployed out there. When you go in with zero trust architecture, you remove a lot of them. So when actually we do cost analysis, the amount of stuff removed is far more costly than the new technology to be bought. It's more of inertia that we need to overcome, and it's understanding and awareness.
It's like having a good insurance policy. You pay to insure against a risk, right? And you don't crib about that.
Right.
So what advice would you give to policymakers and others who may still not have fully understood this challenge and prepared their corporations, their entities to meet this challenge?
Yeah, the government does two kind of things. One, they can say regulation. And India has done decent amount of regulation. If government does too much regulation, it stops adoption of technology in businesses. So stay kind of on the middle path when it comes to regulation. Do not over-regulate. But the other thing I think Indian government could do is what US did 4 years ago when Biden administration came. They put a policy in place that said, my federal agency must embrace zero trust architecture and get out of the traditional approach and they gave a time frame 2 years, 3 years or so. A lot of progress got made. Are they all the way there? No, but they made a lot of progress. I think Indian government really pushed for the same kind of change, otherwise things will sit there. And the risk of other nations who really are adversaries of India is high.
In the world of AI, do these challenges increase? And if they do, given the nature of AI, do they pose even greater challenges?
So AI is a wonderful technology. AI is a dangerous technology. Just like any...
Both coexist, two sides of the same coin.
Same coin. It can answer so many questions, solve so many problems. But this is what AI does. To attack a corporation, bad guys had to find all the firewalls, VPNs, applications, where are they? It may have taken them weeks to do it. Now you can ask ChatGPT. That information, you can get it in 30 seconds or so. So it's easy to find your attack surface. And once you get in, and AI can help you find which of the systems are more important that you should be attacking. So it's becoming easier. But at the same time, companies like Zscaler are also taking advantage of AI to find those things, to find a needle in a haystack where a bad guy may be hiding, to kick them out. So I think companies have better technology. The risk remains inertia. Will enterprises adopt them fast enough, or will they be slow? Because hackers have no inertia. Large companies do, and governments have more.
Absolutely. To what extent is Zscaler, your company, deploying AI solutions as far as your core business is concerned?
Quite a bit. AI adoption is happening at a faster pace. We have embedded AI into our solutions and offerings already, and a lot more will get done. And our job is to make it easy for customers to deploy it. The easier it is, the sooner the customer deploys it. And the results we are seeing are very significant.
Mr. Chaudhry, you made a name for yourself. You're amongst those Indians who are billionaires due to their hard work and enterprise. You told me earlier that you visited India a couple of times in the last 10, 12 months. Where do you see India today in terms of its development trajectory? When you come there, what enthuses you and what sort of still concerns you?
India, the way it has made progress, businesses that have grown, amazing progress on the higher end. But India is also, you look on the other side, you see the masses that are poor, they lack education, they lack jobs. I think India's challenge is to create more jobs. We're trying to do it at our small scale. About 40% of Zscaler employees are in India. That was one of my dreams, to say, if things can be done in India, let's do them in India. But with millions and millions of people who are really coming to the to the age of working, we all need to do more job for better education, to provide education that trains them to do real jobs, and then create jobs. And I think private sector has a big role to play, and they're playing more and more. And I think that's where maybe the government should figure out what else can be done jointly with public sector and private sector.
Absolutely. One of the major new initiatives which is being rolled out and is a multi-year program is paid internships in some ways, where the government pays for it and people get exposure at an early age. One of the other things that we see as far as India is concerned, and it's a success story, is the digital stack.
Absolutely.
The India stack, as it is called, and you see the kind of ease of access it has provided for financial services. If you add eKYC and everything, it's a story that even now other countries are looking at. When you look at that stack, how do you see it, and do you see any potential future growth coming from there that will be absolutely fantastic?
The stack is very powerful. Other countries look at it and say, wow, I wish we could do it. Even the West doesn't have a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm not sure stack is going to generate a lot of jobs by itself. The services you build around the stack is where some of the jobs get created. The productivity is happening because of the stack. Look at the payment system, so easy, so quick, and it reduces corruption and some of those other things too. I think jobs become very interesting. The higher level skilled jobs in the knowledge world are becoming more and more important. India produces lots of engineers. I think India needs to produce more employable engineers who have better skills. That's one part. Then I think the masses in India still need manufacturing jobs too, because high-tech industry can only absorb so many. And the push India has on Make in India, I think it's a good initiative. It's good to see some of these big corporations, Samsung of the world, coming in and setting up industries. Apple's phones now being built in India at a pretty good scale. These are pretty good stories.
Mr. Chaudhry, when we see the development that has taken place in India, and you spoke about Make in India and how there is such a robust architecture coming up, there's also one view which is concerned around what may happen to US immigration. I'm specifically referring to H-1B.
Right.
A lot of young Indians who opt for engineering dream and aspire to work overseas. It's a fair dream.
Sure.
In the run-up to the election in the United States, we heard a lot of negative commentary. President Trump seems to have put a lid on it for now by saying, you know, he endorses H-1B. In your reckoning, what is likely to happen?
With this new administration, lots of things are unpredictable. I think there'll be two forces, some opposing it, some pushing for it. I'm not sure where it will eventually land.
The other thing, which is almost 4 decades and more of US companies outsourcing for cost efficiencies, also for market access. Do you see that reversing? Because one would argue that 4 decades of work cannot be collapsed into 4 years of ghar wapsi for American investment to come back to the homeland. Do you see that playing out as a major trend?
There's no reversing back. It's not going to go back. The risk is not that America is going to bring work back for people to do it here. If there's a risk, it's the degree of automation, what all AI can do to eliminate some of these jobs. That's probably the risk one has to worry about.
How do you personally assess that risk? What is the likely consequence?
Look, every new technology creates new jobs. It eliminates some other jobs. It's too early to see what needs to be done. It's very clear that high value, high knowledge jobs will grow dramatically. What's the impact of it on the lower end jobs? They'll certainly be there.
Okay, one final point, and you know, there are multiple use cases for AI, and it's being deployed in so many ways. You keep noticing absolutely interesting and several startups by Indians which are doing fantastic work. In your view, what will be the single biggest defining moment, you know, like a typewriter moment, if I may ask you, from a use case for AI, something that will it be medical research, will it be new drug discovery? What's your sense where AI could have a massive phenomenal impact?
I think example I'll give you, take internet. Is there one area that internet is touching? It's touching everything. When mobility came, mobility is touching everything. Every job is happening here. I think AI will become part of every job. It's going to help medical, it's going to help manufacturing, it's customer support, all areas. There won't be AI companies in general other than a handful of companies that provide the platform. But every company will use AI. It's going to lift productivity. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And those productivity gains and the platform shift, perhaps one of the most fundamental platform shifts in technological terms, like Mr. Chaudhry here told us, it's going to touch everyone, and it's not going to be just confined to one person. Mobility being an example, the internet being another example. Mr. Chaudhry, I wish you all the very best for securing the data of billions of people, both in India and all over the world.
Absolutely.
And thank you very much for your time with us here at Davos.
Wonderful. I'll leave last comment for Indian entrepreneurs.
Please do that.
Who are building so many great companies. India is good at creating technology. India has yet to master how to sell those technologies in the Western world. The biggest market is the US, and then Europe is the second biggest market. If Indians start learning how to take the great technology they're building and successfully sell them, then we'll be able to build some big companies that are based in India that are not just doing services, but are actually providing technologies.
That would be wonderful, Mr. Chaudhry. In fact, that gives me an idea, maybe a master class by you in India when you are there next with young budding entrepreneurs. Thank you for leaving us with that thought. All the very best. With that, it's a wrap on this conversation. We'll be back with more. Until then, goodbye.
Hello and welcome. We're joined at the India Today and Business Today studios of the World Economic Forum at Davos by Parth